He's here, y'all, tonight. The Soul Spotlight, actor, director, producer, director of photography, the whole nine. We got Gilbert Glenn Brown in the house. We're live on the Soul Spotlight for our IMITATES Live, y'all. Let's go.
I'm a filmmaker. I've worked in film, video, and television for over 30 years. I took a little break, but now I'm back.
Hey y'all, welcome to another edition of Art Imitates Live with me, Tanya Dixon. You know, it's been a moment, just a little second since we've done the Soul Spotlight. You know, we've been kind of chilling in a living room, you know, the Friday night with the forum and all. We're just cutting up, having a good time. But I'm so glad that we're back to doing our special interviews, one-on-ones with different, you know, artists, actors, everybody out there who's really moving and shaking and doing their thing here on the ATL, I mean on the AIL. I'll say ATL because I'm in ATL, but AIL, our IMITATES Live. But you know how we do it. I'll be able to bring my guests in just a few moments. So let's go ahead and hit the sponsor. We'll be back to kick it all off in just a moment.
Our IMITATES Live with Tanya Dixon is being sponsored by Tandyland Global, bringing your multimedia dreams to life.
We are back here on the Soul Spotlight. So let me go ahead and welcome our special guest into the studio, Gilbert Glenn Brown. Come on in and we'll unmute you as well so that you go on and talk to us. How you doing, Gilbert? Let me go ahead and welcome our special guest into the studio. Got a little delay.
Hi. I'm well. I'm actually hearing the sound doubled on my side. I'm not sure.
Yeah, turn your speaker down a little. Yeah, okay. It's probably that. Or you don't have earpiece, right?
Yeah,
so,
you know what? Yeah, I can grab an ear. I can.
Well, while you grab that. You do that. I'll run my social media and you go grab your earpiece and I'll run my social media real quick. Okay, all right. So you go do that. We'll be back in just a second.
We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Art Imitates Live with Tanya Dixon. So be sure to like and subscribe. And also check us out on all of our other social media.
Okay, we'll go back with just me right now. Gilbert's coming in just a few moments. He's getting all his sound and everything squared away. So while we're doing that, I want to remind you all again, we got the living room on Friday night. Tune in. This week is going to be kind of a trip. I think we're going to talk about from the men's perspective this week, why men are dating differently now and not having sex as much. I think that's what we're going to go with. I got to check with my guys and see if they're quite ready for that. So if they are, then it's what it is. We're going to have fun with it as well. So stay tuned for that. All right, let's see if Gilbert is back and he is ready to go. Let's see. Gilbert, are you ready?
Okay.
Okay. Oh, you got your earpiece now. Cool. Yay.
Yeah. It's still hearing like a delay, like a delayed echo.
I don't hear it on my side.
I don't know. Should I log off and log back in? Maybe.
I would say turn your speakers all the way down.
No, my speakers aren't on at all.
Oh, okay. So you still
Yeah.
hear it. Yeah, maybe you should. And while you do that, I'll just play around and talk over here.
This is where it's like I'm still here. I'm hearing myself talk now.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, if you want to log off and come back, I'll be just
Yeah.
here and talking about how I'm going to do something on Instagram. So I will go ahead and mute you out.
Okay. All right. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll take you completely off and then I'll add you back in. All right, sounds good. Hey, y'all, it's just me and my co-host. He's over there chilling. He ain't fooling with me tonight. But like I always say, y'all, we have a lot of topics and stuff that we do on the Soul Spotlight and in the living room. And if you would like to be a guest on the show, you feel free to reach out to us. And the website is tandyland.com, TANDILAND.com. And of course, you hit us at info@tandyland.com. I'll run the spot again in just a few moments. And then if you want to just hit us on my Gmail account, it is, wait a minute, Tandyland AIL. I think I had been saying it wrong for a moment. I had been saying Tandy AIL, but it's really Tandyland AIL. And, you can hit us there on Gmail and we'll be able to talk to you and see if you want to be on the show. And if you just have a comment of some ways that we could do some greater things and some other things, just hit us on that too. We would love, love, love to hear from you. I don't often talk by myself. I might kind of like this. My living room panel better be careful. They might just see me talking the whole time by myself. They'll be wondering why it is that I never got to the living room on Friday night. I spent a lot of years in TV where I had to talk by myself, and to just the screen, and I got away from it. And now that I'm doing it again, I might kind of like this here. So I might just continue it. Y'all be careful out there, living room, because I might just be coming for y'all. But again, just reach out for us. And like I said, this week is going to be interesting. And last week we kind of got into a hardcore kind of sexual type topic in the living room. That was interesting. And I kind of cringed a little bit on some things. So this week it's time to put the guys on the spot and let them cringe a whole lot on the show. So that should be pretty interesting. But we're going to give a moment for Gilbert. Again, let me go ahead and just run the spot again for Tandyland in case you want to get with us and all that. So, and be on the show. Here we go.
Our Imitates Live with Tanya Dixon is being sponsored by Tandyland Global, bringing your multimedia dreams to life.
Okay, and we are back. Hey, how's it sound now?
This is much better. It just might
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was over here really kind of threatening my panel, let them know I'm kind of liking this talking by myself thing. And so on Friday night, y'all look out. I might be doing the whole panel by myself. Okay, I'm kidding. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've spoken by myself, so It's just been a little interesting. How you doing, Gilbert?
I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm great. Just happy to be here and happy that we get a chance to do this. Let me go ahead and get ready to welcome you into the Soul Spotlight. In the meantime, let's go ahead and run this opening for us. All right, here we go. Hey, welcome back. I like to do all my little stuff.
No,
I'm
I
an
appreciate that. That
editor.
was great.
Cool.
That was
Thank
great. Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. I'm an editor, so I love doing all that kind of stuff. So
Mhm.
just enjoy it. But I want to welcome you to the Soul Spotlight here on Imitates Life, and you have
Thank
such
you.
a rich history of everything that you've done. You know I've got to start it and ask you a lot of questions. Okay, and so
Cool.
you heard the opening I gave you now when I was like actor, director, producer, director of photography. We got to get into all that. But what I want to know, and I'm sure a lot of people want to know with the multitude of work that you have done, is
Mhm.
how did it all start for you? And what I have read from you in your bio is a pretty interesting story of high school, how it all
Mhm.
came about. So kind of
Yeah.
give us the story.
Well, well, first, I'm actually first generation. My parents are originally from Jamaica. Um,
Cool.
so I have to say that I would not be forgiven if I did not. So represent. Um,
Cool.
but and and I've always been creative. I've always had a pretty vivid imagination. I'm from drawing my own comic books to writing scripts and plays and poetry and things like
Cool.
that. But it all
Mhm.
kind of came together for me in high school, where uh, what happened was there's a touring musical theater company called the Positive Youth Troupe, which is connected to the Mind Builders Creative Arts Center in the northeastern section of the Bronx, off of Gun Hill
Right.
Road in White Plains. If anyone knows New York or the Bronx specifically, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Um,
Okay.
and they came to my school, and they had a performance, musical performance, and I was like, okay, well, this was, and I liked what I saw, and I was like,
Mhm.
okay, this is cool, but I think I could do that. I think I could do that.
Right.
And they said, if anybody want to audition, come on down. And then I was like, oh, I'm not auditioning. And then I was about to dip out, and then a friend of mine walked up and like just basically dared me to do it. And I
Right.
said, you know what, that I'm going to do that. And I went up, signed up, and have been connected to that wonderful organization for through high school, through college.
Right.
I'm still very much connected to the Community Arts Center in the Northeastern Bronx, and they have a strong commitment to empowering young people, empowering families as a whole through
Okay.
the arts. And
Okay.
it's still there, still standing strong, and I'm still very much involved in with that organization.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, it's my understanding that that was to help change your world to keep you
Yes.
from going into other things that surrounding.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
bit,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
a
Yeah. Yeah.
little bit of that.
I mean, during that that period of my life, being a teenager, you get pulled in a lot of different directions.
Understand.
Some very positive, some not so positive. I'm not making any judgment on either one of those. It's all a choice. Um,
Mhm.
and when you're 14, 15, things start looking a little differently. Now, I wouldn't necessarily call myself a street kid necessarily,
Mhm.
but I was around the element, and
Okay.
proximity is more than enough. And
Okay.
so I think, and the crazy thing about it was that I grew up in St. Albans, Queens, and the
Okay.
Bronx. Yeah,
My
the
family was
oh what yeah oh what whereabouts? Now I want to know where.
You know something? I was more in Cambria Heights. I know that
Yeah,
more than
yeah, yeah,
than I know
yeah. I know
St.
that.
Albans. But I used to have to go
It's
over
right
to
there.
St. Albans to visit my cousins. But I was in Cambria Heights, 222nd Street. That was my
Oh,
stomping grounds all the time.
I was hanging out over there too. I have some friends that lived on that side, and my high school wasn't too far from there as well. So yeah,
Cool.
I know that we'll talk about that offline. But
Okay.
but no, but so you know the lay of the land. So
Yeah.
it's and going to the northeastern Bronx, that was a trek. But
Uh-huh.
I really found in what I saw, and then when I eventually went up there and I saw how far, I was like, wow, this is far, but
Right.
I saw the value in the arts. I saw people who were not connected to me biologically that cared about me, that cared about my
Mhm.
well-being,
Right.
and cared about me improving myself. And growing as a human being, not just as an artist, but also as a human being. And so that is because before we're anything else. That's what and who we are. And it proved to be one of the most influential choices I've made in my entire life. And I'm having looked back. I mean, I went to my first choice of schools, which was NYU, Tisch School of the Arts. And I'm finished in 3 years. That's another story, but
okay.
But it's a good story. It's a good story, but it's yeah.
That's wonderful. I know that being there, like the whole New York thing. And I'm gonna tell you, honestly, it was like I lived there because I lived in New Jersey and I lived in Philadelphia. I lived different places. I would go there every summer and every Thanksgiving, and that whole pull to 42nd Street and all the places with theater. Did that kind of help you to, like, I know you made your turn into stage as you got into the industry? Did that help you to kind of go that direction by just seeing all of that all the time and feeling like, I want to do this?
Yeah. You know what? And this is gonna be funny to hear, but the fact that I love theater. I do. I love theater. It's where I got started. And it definitely, my parents did the best they could in terms of like exposing me to theater. But I wasn't a huge fan of musical theater, which is the thing. So I sing also. So I wasn't a big fan of musical theater because it's like, again, I really didn't see my representation of myself or anyone that was around me, nor were the issues that they were dealing with universal enough to like for me to care. Like as artistically, I was like, oh, this is great, but like, you're seeing cats, I'm like, all right, it's cats. All right. Once the spectacle was over, it was like Nowadays I'm glad there were things like In the Heights and Rent, back when I was in school and everything that were around. But when I was a little kid, it wasn't a whole lot of that. I mean, it was like, Raising the Sun, a couple of musicals here and there, and that was pretty much it. But yes, to answer your question, yes, it definitely did have an impact because I definitely wanted to see myself on that stage, or people that I know that people that look like me included. So, and that was always something that was very important to me.
Okay. Now, I'm sure that it is. Like I know when you first started something, like my first love was radio, because that's the first thing I did, and it embraced me in a different way. Would you still say that everything you've done stage kind of drew you in as the first love, or you just kind of kept evolving and then the love got bigger for just everything?
Well, creativity is something that always attracted me, and theater was a place where I could see all of the pieces kind of come into play.
Okay.
The lights, the sound, set design. It's like my mentors were folks who had the understanding that in order to have a greater appreciation for what you do on the stage, you have to understand all of what goes into what you do. So I can build sound design. I can run lights. I can build a set. I can do costumes. That's how I was taught. So doing one thing is not necessarily an asset, because everything that you know how to do, everything that you understand informs the work that you do. So, it all goes hand in hand.
Well, cool. Now, what about, like, I know you've worked with a number of theater companies. I want you to name some more right now. I'm thinking about the Huntington Theater, Gary Marshall, Apollo. You have a lot. Just go ahead and just put them on out there.
Theater, let's see, National Black Theater, Negro Ensemble Company, Kansas City Rep. You said Huntington. Let me see. True Colors, Kennedy Leon's True Colors in Atlanta. as well as Actors Express in Atlanta as well.
Okay.
The ERT here in I'm in Los Angeles right now.
Okay.
Let's see what else. I'm drawing a blank on Playwrights Horizons, the
A
Goodman.
number. A lot of them.
There's a few, and I know that I'm forgetting some right now. I know I haven't said
Okay.
it. So any ones that I have not mentioned, I apologize. But
What
it's
is the
somewhere in
first
my mind.
production though? But what was your first production that drew you in and you felt like, okay, yeah, this is real. I'm doing this. What was the
Oh,
very first? Yeah,
that I saw or that I was in.
that you were in. You were in.
That I was in.
Mhm.
The first thing this is going to go back. This is going back before, actually before high school.
Okay.
But, and I'll say this. I'll say it and then I'll explain. It was actually in elementary school.
Mhm.
I was sent to a predominantly white elementary school, and in the school we were doing a production of about the what was it? It was about the flag. Betty Ross sewing the flag,
Mhm.
and I got cast as George Washington, ironically enough. And that was the first time that it really I really kind of got into it.
Okay.
But I never saw it as a way of as a career, really.
Right. We're making a living.
Um, and then fast forward again to high school. The first show that I did with the theater company, because again, I was very shy growing up, very shy. But I wanted to do it that bad. I wanted to do that bad. Was a show called No Laughing Matter, which was loosely based on a true story. There was it was in the 80s. The story was there was a young man who came home from a prep school in the Upper West Side. He came home. He was hanging out with his friends. He was, straight A student, hanging out with his friends. They decided they wanted to do something. He wasn't totally down with it, but he went with them anyway, and he ended up getting shot and killed in Morningside Park by an undercover police officer.
Wow.
And so the show was based on that, and it was they took the story, and the writer Willow Najee Halsey, he took the story and said, I want to spin this, make it a musical. It was written by Ankra Amenhotep, the music, wonderful music. What if we spin this, and we have it where he actually does not get killed, but he actually decides not to go, but saves his brother's life and helps to turn the community around. And so that was it. And so I played the main character whose name is Kendall Boyd. I played that character in the show.
Okay.
So that was when, and in doing that, it just kind of solidified for me, this is something that I really love doing. And not only am I getting an opportunity to, because I didn't realize that I could sing. That's another story.
I want to know about that. How did you discover that you could sing? I mean, did you not play around and sing in the shower and nothing
by
like
myself,
that?
By myself.
Okay.
And we all sound good by ourselves.
By ourselves, yeah.
By ourselves. And so I really didn't, and I was, I was in choir, in elementary school and stuff like that. Right. But I you sing with a group of people and you're having fun and you're not thinking about, what you sound like necessarily.
Yeah.
But when you start doing solos, you gotta be concerned about that. And I was very, being shy and not knowing I could sing, interesting combination. But again, through Positive YouTube and Mind Builders, they really helped. They really built up my confidence in that way. So now, I can go anywhere and just do what I do.
The cool thing about this is because I'm shy. I always say that I'm shy too, and people don't understand that at all. They
Right.
think I'm lying. Because when I was young, I
Yeah.
was an introverted introvert. Now I guess I'm an extroverted introvert.
Mhm.
And I can step out there and I can do
You
my
turn it on.
little
Yeah.
fake
Yeah, you
singing
turn it
here.
on.
Yeah, you turn it on. Yeah, you turn it
Yeah.
on. And it's like
Yeah.
here, I can talk and everything, but they don't understand. You still can be shy. You're just in your craft and in your art,
Yeah. And it's like sometimes
you
when you
pull
get
off.
into the mix, it's like I did a red carpet. Well, it was black carpet this time, but you know this Sunday for
Okay.
Respect, and um, I hadn't really done a
Uh-huh.
lot of those, and I had to. I was interviewed by like I don't know how many different press folks, and I just that's not something I
Right.
enjoy. But it's like once you get past it, they're like, "Come on, Gil, come on, you got them." It's like, all right,
Right. Like real
turn it on.
comfortable.
All right, hey, how y'all doing? Blah 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 blah. Blah. What's the question? I don't think I answered your question, so
Yes.
my apologies, but I hope I answered something and keep it moving.
Uh-huh.
Just getting to the mode of really kind of
But
enjoying.
it's good.
Yeah,
You- Right.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah.
really kind of just
Oh,
enjoying,
I heard a
getting in the
little
mode of just
sound
kind of enjoying.
going out, but I guess it's just on my
Yeah,
end. But the thing is,
yeah,
okay. You find a way to function in a dysfunction is what I call it.
right,
For me, it doesn't always fit. It's a little bit of dysfunction, but you find a way to function in the dysfunction. So that's all good. Now you have
right.
a wealth of things that you have done in television. And all. Let's start to walk in that door. Let's talk about some of the projects. And of course, we've got to talk about Young and Restless, the whole night. So let's talk about some of your things in television and film. Kind of lay it out for our family out here so they can see just your body of work.
Uh, I, okay, well, where do you want me to start? Because it's funny. It's funny because like
Um,
sometimes people have to remind me of some of the stuff that I've done because it's like it's not that because after I do it I just like forget about it. It's like I do it and I just kind of move forward to the next thing because it's like um,
right.
it's not I can't go back and change anything
Okay.
that I've done. I can only move forward and see what's in front of me,
Okay. Well,
honoring that, but not honoring what happened behind me,
okay,
but
cool.
moving forward. But so I'll do my best. I'll do my best.
Okay. What about your work that you did, P. Henson, when you were in the film with her? Kind of let's talk there, and then we'll go into some of the TV projects like Swan, end up with Stargirl and all that, of course. But let's kind of go up a little and see a few things. And if you don't remember, I'll throw some names at you that I have read that you have done.
Okay, please do. Please help me. Please help me. Okay. Wait.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
start
there
with a
seems to be
movie
like a
with
delay.
Taraji, the project
Oh,
with
yeah.
Let's go there.
Okay. Well, the
Yeah, there I
best
do
of.
hear a little. You know what it is I can hear reception. Reception is not the best tonight, and I'm watching it. I'm
Oh,
watching it. It's kind of going like this, but we're gonna weather the storm. Yeah, we're gonna
okay.
weather the storm. We had a storm here today, so we're gonna
Oh, okay.
weather it.
Um. Well, that film was called
Okay, yeah,
the
whatever.
Okay, that film was called the Best of Enemies, which is on Netflix right now. Just started showing up literally like two weeks ago, with Taraji P Henson
Okay.
and Sam Rockwell. It
Mhm.
was an amazing experience. The director Robin was really generous and really allowed us the within the context of the story, the breadth and scope to just kind of just go in there and tell the story the best way that we could. And
Okay.
both Taraji and Sam are like they're at the top of their game, and it was just being able to go toe to toe with them was just it was a dream come true. It was a dream come true, and the entire cast was amazing as well.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
that is so cool. And then it's like, what is it like for you? Like, I'm going to just use working SWAT and all as an example.
mhm,
When you get that call, you got this role that you're walking in there. How does that
mhm.
feel for you that you walking in and you've got this whole new different thing that you have to play and embrace every single time? What is that like for free time? Is that a challenge, a little nervousness, but I'm gonna kill this? How do you each opportunity?
Um, well, I mean, there's always some degree of nervousness that comes about because we're human beings. So we have our isms and our doubts and our fears, and it's what makes it amazing is that we push through that and rise to the occasion. For me, in those situations, yeah, there's
Okay.
always nerves involved. Um, I do my best to do all my homework, all my preparation, understand the entire arc of the story. What's the show about? Who the main characters are? What's my function in telling this story? And then once I get all the technical stuff out of the way, I
Right.
can dive in. I understand the world. I can dive in and just do get to the meat of it, which is what am I doing here? Why am I here? Why am I saying what I'm saying? Why am I doing what I'm doing? What's my intention? What's driving me? What's motivating me to do this, to say this, to what do I want? And no matter who it is on the other side
Okay.
of that, approaching it with this is another human being. This is not Samuel L. Jackson. This is not Shamar Moore. This is not Sam Rockwell. This is not Taraji. This is whoever I'm supposed to be talking to and deal with them as such. It can be challenging because
Okay.
if you get wrapped up in I guess the star power of the person opposite you,
Uh-huh.
then you're not honoring the work that you're there
Right.
to do. And and it happens because again we're human beings, but at a certain point that has to go away, and the reality
Right.
of the moment has to be paramount over everything else.
Uh-huh. What has been so far, I guess, your most challenging role?
uh, on stage or in film? That is the
let's well
question.
let's first say stage. Let's first say stage, and then we'll
Mhm.
say screen, either big or small screen.
Okay. Uh, there, I would like to say that most of the roles that I do on stage are all challenging in their own way. But I guess, the most
All right.
taxing emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically would have to be there are
Mhm.
three. There are three that come to mind immediately. Actually
Okay.
four, for different reasons. And I'm gonna put them in a particular order. One,
Okay.
two roles happen to be in a writer who I love his writing, Terrell Alvin McCraney. He has a show on OWN right now called David Makes Man, and which is a fantastic show. And he
Okay.
also uh, he also did Moonlight as well. Um,
Okay.
and
All
two
right.
of his pieces, he had a suite of plays called the Brother Sister plays, and the brother the In the Red and Brown Water, and in that I played Shango, which uh, was a huge challenge in that he there's a lot of things about him that me personally I was like that bucked up against me personally, and I was just like, but I had to push through it. And
Okay.
Shirley Joe Finney, the director, really expertly guided me through
Okay.
that. Um, After that would have to be his other one of his other plays called
Okay.
the Brother Size, and in that I played Ogun, the elder brother, and that that was one of those shows where it
Hmm.
took you to such a dark, deep place, a very real, organic place, and then opened you up. And the work that I did in that
Hmm.
was so intense, and the piece itself it required that level of intensity and that level of detail and intimacy and really openness, that after this show was over, I didn't realize how much of the energy of that character was staying with me as I moved out through my day. So there's like, as an artist, we kind of have to have like it's almost like it's a spiritual experience. You have to have some kind of rituals, whether it's prayer, meditation, whatever it might be, to release that so that you don't take that with you. You have to have something. And I did. And I think that I did not realize just how much it stayed with me until I was responding and reacting to certain situations differently than Gilbert would.
As the character.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, wow.
So, and I realized that later on, which leads me to the next show that I did, which was actually in Atlanta, which was written by Janine Neighbors, one fantastic writer. And she writes for television now, actually, as well, called the Serial Blackface. And the backdrop of it was the Atlanta child murders. And my character in it was a very mysterious kind of dark person where it's questionable. The question was, is he involved in what's going on in the community or not? And turns out that turns out that he's not, but he had a lot of demons that he was dealing with. A lot of demons, and I don't want to go into it in case they put it up again, but it was incredibly written. But it was more so the focus was a mother and a daughter dealing with the trauma of losing their son and brother and not knowing how to go on, how to move forward, and then grabbing onto me, who was the man that showed up to be a part of that, but ended up causing a chasm in the family. But the end result is that the mother and daughter do reconnect, and they do find a bond, and they do move forward together. That show, I walked with the knowledge that I have from the Terrell show, from Brother Size. I walked into that production with, okay, I need not take that home. I need to, when I walk out to talk to the audience, I need not to take that energy with me, because I know it creeps them out anyway, because it creeps me out. And a lot of people after the show just didn't know how to interact with me after what they saw. And so it was, but I was just like, okay, but I can't take that home. I'm not taking any of this home with me. So, hey, this is Gilbert.
Okay.
That's that man. This is Gilbert.
Wow. That's pretty profound though.
Yeah. The next one, one of the most challenging and one of the most fulfilling also had to be Martin Luther King Jr. And I had and actually several different iterations. I've done Mountaintop by Katori Hall a few times. I did a tour. I did a stage production of it before it went to Broadway. Also, I also did a production of it here in Los Angeles as well. And every single time, and I did a musical in New York about Martin Luther King with the Negro ensemble. And every single opportunity.
So I was wondering. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I forgot we have a sound issue. So you go ahead, because I forgot we had a sound issue. So you go ahead.
Oh, okay. Every single chance, opportunity, moment that I'm blessed with to actually to step into Martin's shoes has been illuminating in so many ways. I learn more things about him every single time. I learn more things about myself every single time. I learn, I experience him differently, not as the icon, but as a human being. And I think that a lot of people get locked into the mythology of him being iconic, as opposed to him being a man who stepped up and saw a need and stepped into that need, not fearlessly, courageously, but not fearlessly, because there was fear involved, because he never knew at any point in time when would be his last breath. And leaving your family to go and fight for hundreds of thousands of other families, around the country. It was
right.
It's interesting because it comes up sometimes, like even with doing Mountaintop, because we did talkbacks after the shows going to tours, and some people were like appalled and offended that that in the piece that Martin would use the N-word, or Martin talked about drinking, and Martin was looking at a woman, and it was like, okay, he's a man. He's not.
He's still a man. Still a man.
You're right. He's not.
Right.
He's not perfect. He didn't put himself on the pedestal. Now, he might have had an ego here and there,
right,
a little bit there, but we all have it. But it's like he didn't put himself there. In fact, at the time of his murder, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, first here that I've noticed. First of all, you do, and this is the first time that I'm actually seeing it. Other people have probably seen it before, but you do have a resemblance to Martin, and that's the first thing that I'm seeing now.
Oh, thank you.
That's one.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yes.
Yes, and then the other thing is, you're absolutely right. So many people have heard his name over years and years and years, and they looked at him as being iconic, but they never knew much about him as a man. They always just knew about his speeches and just all of what he did. So it's really nice and very helpful to see characters that you were playing and folks like you were playing, to bring the real person, so that it can be a reminder for people who may have known something they've forgotten, and then also an education for people who have never known. So that's really wonderful.
Oh, I'm honored and humbled to just even have those opportunities to do that. So those are the four most challenging roles. There are more that they presented their own challenges that are in there. So I'm not to slight anyone or any production that I did, but I've done. But those are the four that really just kind of took me through the ringer every single time I stepped out on the stage. Or even from reading the first read through it, or first reading the script.
Okay. I'm gonna I know, like you said just now, you don't remember some of the things. What was it like with Dreamgirls, Cold Case, The Good Fight? What were those type of productions like for you? Give me a little something on that. Let's Dreamgirls.
Okay. Okay. Well, Dreamgirls, that was actually the film, coincidentally, with Jennifer Hudson and Beyonce and Jamie Foxx and everyone. It was a great experience. I wish that I had not been snipped down to like nothing. I still get credit. I still get the residuals. I'm not mad. I just wish that they would have actually seen. My scene was coincidentally actually with Jennifer and Jamie in the film. It got cut. It's okay. It's all good. I ain't mad. It happens. That's what happens. That's part of the process. It's part of the process. That's what happens.
Did the production that? Yeah.
Oh no. I never did. Exactly. You got it.
Right.
So you said and SWAT, and you said SWAT.
Cold
SWAT.
Case.
Oh, Cold Case.
Yeah.
Oh, Cold Case was that was like one of my earlier roles, and it's interesting. There's a really dear friend of mine and director and creator, Quincy Lanier, said to me one day after he saw some things I was, and he said, "Why you always got to play the brother with sense?" I was like, hey, I'm a brother with sense. I do. But in that, I played a brother with sense. I was basically my Ronaldo Coley, I think my name, Ronaldo Coley, I think my name was. And basically what was happening was I was there was of course in cold case they go back in time and they come back to the present. And what happened was there was I was an organizer, a civil rights organizer in the North. And what happened was there was a gentleman and a woman who were killed. They were part of my group, but they were it was suspected that it might have been white supremacists that killed them, and they were trying to figure out what really happened. And it turns out it was a jealousy. It was actually a love triangle murder. And so it was so it was really interesting, really wonderful to play. I love period pieces, so it was really wonderful to get a chance to to put all of that together. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what I like to do on the show here, we have people who comment. Sometimes I like to go and read the comments, and then I'm gonna get back to asking you some questions in a few moments. But let's go over to the comments real quick. And I team on there. What's up? Of course, Layala, love you. Tiana, what's going on? Veronica, and I'll see all y'all. Bola, I got to get you a question in a minute, but I see D. Rodney says, "Big nephew, I love you." So, and then also Shades of Great Productions says, "GB, peace and love." But also I love this message here, and I wanted to read. This is how my heart is pleased to see you living your dreams. Christ guide you in all your endeavors. You're very articulate, well poised. Love you, Auntie Angie. So I wanted to.
Hey, Auntie Angie, I love you. Thank you.
Oh, now Bola has a question for you. She says, "Mr. Brown, do you ever intermingle with these characters, with who you are?"
Well,
I want to make sure I understand that.
I think I understand it. I think I understand it. If I don't understand this correctly, please, say what you need to say. Feel free to chime in.
Right.
I'm an artist. I'm a human being, and I'm also a vessel. And so, when I approach these roles, I do my best to empty as much of me out so that I have some space to receive that data, information, that to put that in the computer banks. I would be lying if I didn't say every once in a while a little bit of these characters don't, if they don't stick. But I'm very clear on who I am. And that's where, when I was talking about earlier about having the ritual, prayer, meditation, just, to kind of detox, not just physically, but spiritually and emotionally detox, so that you don't carry all those things with you, because it's energy and it can stick. It can. And I was saying earlier, there was playing Ogun in the Brother Size, that I didn't realize just how much Ogun from the show stuck with me until I was in situations where I was responding and dealing with situations the way Ogun would, which was not necessarily with a whole lot of love and a whole lot of care. It was like, get out of here. No, I'm not doing that. Yeah, it was a totally other thing. And when I realized, I got some work to do. Right. It's like, I got some work to do. I went and I did that work that needs to be done. And, as artists, we definitely need to be aware of, because it's a gift that we have, but we also need to be aware of the fact that we do hold on to some of this, that we do, it can kind of seed itself in you if you're not paying attention to it. You have to know how to let it go and release it. And people have different ways they do it. I have, my way is meditation and prayer, being gratitude and thinking. That's my approach.
Well, that's great that you answered that way, because we did have a question from Shades of Great Productions that asked, how do you connect and disconnect? Well, that was right in line.
Yeah. I know who that is.
So that was cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I want to mention some of these names of these people that you have worked with, because I know you said it's been over time, and sometimes you
Mhm.
forget.
Yeah.
Thompson, Sam Rockwell, Jennifer Hudson, Forrest Whitaker, James Woods, Felicia Rose, Alfred Woodard, Michael Chiklis, Peter Gallagher, Hetty Winston, Ken Holliday, Richard Lawson, Dick Gregory, and David Caruso, just to name a few of the people that you have done a wealth of work with. So
Mhm.
now I got to ask you, and I got to turn the
Yeah.
corner just a little bit because I'm a production girl too.
Okay.
Tell me about you directing and also like to take off that acting hat and put on this other hat, because I know for me the transition that I make, I'm not an actor, but I, even if I go between producing and directing, it's a little bit of a transition.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I kind of grew up how I was mentored. The folks that mentored me, that Harry Poe was like one of the first ones to, and Starletta Dupois were actually the first ones to kind of like instill this. You need to know how to do all of this, understand what this is, all of these different parts, and so, and also my parents. Hey, my family's from Jamaica. We do a lot of different things, um, and so we we
You know, you're making me think
so
of In Living Color, right?
I know. It's a stereotype, and it's a little bit of truth in there. Just a little bit of truth in there. Um, the
Okay.
for me, it's all right. I while I was in school, I also studied directing as well. Um, so I was
Okay.
directing in school. So I have a for stage. So I definitely had an understanding of that, but I also had a clear vision in terms of any production that I would actually direct. My understanding of the director is that the director is has to see the entire portrait, has to understand the entire portrait, has to understand the picture is painting. Granted, it might change along the way because you might run out of salmon and you might have to use another color here. So you switch it up and you figure that out. But the director has to have an overall understanding of every single piece of this puzzle, so that this masterpiece is a masterpiece and not just a poster that you're gonna put up on the wall. Nothing the poster. Shout out to
Right.
posters. I like posters too, but you understand my point. Um, um,
Right.
so in terms of your question of taking the hat off, it's like I don't necessarily take the hat off. I kind of tilt it a different way because still as an actor, there's certain things as an
Okay.
actor that I might be able to hear and see and communicate to the actor that if I was because there's some directors who don't know how to talk to actors. And I actually also taught at a college at Columbia College, and that was one of the things that I instilled because they were required to all the students were required to take acting classes, directors, filmmakers, anybody. And that's one of the things I instilled in them.
Okay.
You need to learn the language. You need to understand how to communicate with your
Right.
actors. I have been on several sets, several productions where the director did not quite know how to communicate with their actors, and that can become a problem. That can become a very serious problem. Like so, for
Okay.
me, I tilt it like if I wear my hat and I'm like this, I'm tilting it this way so that I can see it, so I can see differently. But I'm also being able to communicate with everyone.
You know, that seems like it can give you an inside lane being that actor and, becoming that director. Like you said, some directors don't know how to speak to actors. And so it
Mhm.
does kind of give you an inside lane of what it's like on the other side of camera and how to
Yeah.
deal with the character and bring the best out of that individual and that
Yes.
character. So I like that. I do have another question from Bola real quick. And she asked,
Mhm.
well, she was asking, do you prefer directing or acting? But she was also asking, are there any roles that you wish you had not done?
That I had not done.
That you wish that you had not done?
Wish that I had not done.
Right.
No.
Everything was an experience.
What
Okay.
I would say about that, there have been roles that I have turned down
Okay.
because it was not in alignment
Okay.
with my spirit, with my beliefs, with my understanding of things. But that being said, I am not um, I am not so um, I'm not so in a tunnel that I can't see the other sides. I mean, I played everything from a man of God to revolutionary to a
Right.
gangster to a gay jazz musician to
Mhm.
uh, you know, to a doctor, to a lawyer. I played just about everything, and everything lent itself to as led itself to me as an experience. It's like, oh,
Okay.
okay, so I know. I don't need to do that, or
Okay.
yes, I would do that again. And but
Okay.
there's certain things that again, like I'll share a quick story, but I'm not going to say what the project was.
Okay.
That's all right. So there was earlier on there was a project that I was really excited about, and I got an audition for a role, and the role was for someone who was not very savory. It involved a the possible molestation of a child, and when I read it and I saw it, and I was like, and I hadn't auditioned in a little while, and I was just kind of like, went to my reps, and I was like, I don't know about this. This is not, this is not something that I want to do. And I got asked questions, well, why, what are your reasoning? And my reps, I love them because they're supportive of me. But at the same time, they will ask me, well, what is your reasoning? Why is it something you're not? I say, well, it involves a child and harming a child. And that's not something I'm comfortable with, nor do I want to do, nor I'm interested in. You know, there are people that I know who have been affected in that way, and it's not something that I want to do.
Gotcha.
And then they were like, okay, we're
Yeah,
with you, and I turned
I
it
can
down.
understand that
And
because
then I got
I
an
know
offer for another role. Then I got an audition for another
cool.
role, which is the one that I wanted, which I ended up getting. And it just
Cool.
you got to stand on something, or you fall for everything.
Exactly. And with that, there are some actors that I can think of that have played a role so well
Mhm.
over time. And in my mind, whenever I see them, my mind goes back to that really bad character. So I can understand in a way what you're saying. There's some
Yeah,
things that you don't want to associate with, and I can get that.
yeah.
I can totally
And
get
just like
that.
in spirit wise, it's just like
Hmm.
I don't know if I want that. If
Yeah.
like if I'll say this, I'll put a caveat on that. I'll say if it there's a I in terms of my understanding of what this character's arc is in the story and how it supports this moving the story forward and the overall message of the story, and it's intrinsic and important that this person is here and it has to be me.
Hmm.
That's a conversation, but even then I still have to go with what comes through first, which is if it's no, then it's got to be no.
Okay. Well, you know what? I got another question from D.
Yeah.
Rodney. Kind of one of my questions too is there any particular actor or actress that you would like to work with? Because you have a wealth of people that you've already
Ooh,
worked with. So anybody that you just like, I want to get
I
that.
mean,
Sorry.
well, look, all right. I'll put it to you like this. I want to work with everybody
Okay.
and the reason why I say that is that because there's always something to learn from that other person.
Hmm.
Like I I did something with Sam Jackson recently, a few months
Okay.
back, and
Uh-huh.
there was a lot of things going on, so my mind wasn't totally there because there's some family stuff going on, and so it
Hmm.
was really messing with me. And it was really clear, like something literally happened like the day before, and someone was missing, and we didn't know
Wow.
what was going
Wow.
on.
Okay.
And but working with him, his work ethic is, I mean, it's like he's not acting. It's like he's not acting.
It's like he's
It's
living
just
it.
like he's in it. He stays in it. You know, it's like so is this Sam or is this Sam or is this Ptolemy? Is this who? Okay, because he's snapping at me right now, but I don't know if this is Sam snapping at me or is this what's happening right now. So all that to say, I'll be greedy and say I want to work with. I mean, you know, there may be some specific people, but I'm not going to put that. I'm not going to put that out there. I'm going to say that everyone that I've worked with thus far are people who are on my list of folks that I want to work with, and I keep adding to it. And there are more people that I want, and it's like set it up, and let me go. Just set up. And let me go.
You know what? I'm gonna ask one more from Bola, then I'm going back to come up for you because we got to get the Star Child and respect. So Bola wants to know: is there a character that you played that is most like you? She didn't know if you had answered it before, but is there any character that you were like, wow, this is close to home right here? Because I know you said you played the character that you became in a way.
That to take some of that energy. Well,
yeah.
My answer to that is. There are aspects of there's a reason why I get cast in the roles that I get cast in. Outside of hopefully talent, I don't know, my charm and good looks, I don't know, but hopefully, you know, but there's something about the I don't even want to say character. I want to say something about the human being that I'm portraying, that I'm welcoming. That connects, that there's something about me and that person that connects, even if it's the character I was telling you about in the serial Blackface, which I like initially with some of the stuff that happens, I just don't connect, but there's something about him that connects, when some of it was being very quiet, being very deliberate, being not expressing emotions all the time in every situation. So there's a little, there's some Dr. King in me. I played Malcolm X. There's some Malcolm in me too. There's there's some Ogun in me. There's some Shango in me. There's there's all these little bits and pieces. There's something that I have to find their humanity, and I have to find my way in, and I have to connect with them in some way, and that's how it is. Yeah.
Okay. I was just about to lose my mind. Now, of course, I'm going to go talk about Stargirl and, of course, respect. But I almost forgot about the Young and the Restless. What is going on with me? Let me go back and let's talk about you on the Young and the Restless, how that came about, and is Jeff Slade as a character.
Jet Slade,
Jet Slade as a character. Tell us a little bit about that, and is that character still just recurring, and what's going on with the character?
Now here's an interesting thing about that. Shout out to CBS and Young and the Restless. I had a great time there, and the interesting thing about that is that my character was supposed to be there to introduce the Brighton's love interest on the show, which was my niece on the show.
All right.
So I was, and also to give more foundation to my daughter on the show as well. And so I was only supposed to be there for a couple of weeks. It turned into 4 months. Now, and which was it was a huge blessing. I was just like, wow, that was wonderful. It was I learned a lot because a lot of the soap operas are very different from single camera shoots, which means like films, dramas. It's actually the closest thing to theater performance that you will ever get in front of the camera.
Okay.
Because there are several cameras going off at the same time, capturing several different things, several different angles. And then you have an area that you're moving in, but you it's like 1, 2, let's go. We're ready to go. Let's go. Oh, there's a change. Here's a change. We got to change this line here. We got to change this line here. Oh yeah, and so this is the part of the song that you need to do now. Okay, we're gonna put a bug in your ear now so that you can hear the music because we can't play it live because of this. Okay, so there's all of these elements going on, and then you have the voice, the God mic when the producers, the producers booth. And producer and director's booth that's coming in as well. So there's like a lot of there's a lot going on, but it's the closest to theater, that I've ever experienced. And
that's cool.
It really helped me to hone basically my court vision, meaning that where's the camera, what's the angle, okay, and still being able to deliver with this. Even though my person I'm talking to is right here, I know that this camera is here. I know that camera's there. I know that camera's there. Okay.
Right.
And deliver.
And not break the fourth wall.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's so cool though. Yeah. That's so good to hear that. And then also, this is just my observation. I've never worked on a soap opera set, but it seems like the scenes just go on real long, and they're just long and they drag for a little bit, as opposed to like a regular TV show that like a sitcom, jump and move a little bit more. And so I watched some shows out there, and I will never mention names. I watched some shows that try to pull that same thing, and they take the scene long, but they take the scene way too long. And there's a certain amount of timing I feel that's in that.
Yeah, I think that sometimes there's a million reasons why or how that happened. It could have came from up top where it was like, no, it has to be this way. It could come from the director saying, no, we need to draw this out. It could come from, even if the editor is like, no, we need to chop this up just a little bit or squeeze the air out of this just a little bit. The director has a particular vision that they want. There's like any number of reasons why that happens. Or it could be an A-lister that's like, you know what? If you cut this scene, I'm done. I will never work with you again. It could be anything. It could be anything. But we don't really know. That's the stuff that you find out later on when they have the what they call the director's cut, where the director's talking about the process. And even then, you may not get the full story because there's certain things that you just can't say.
Right, I get you. I totally get, because you say it, you may not work with that individual again or something like that.
Or you may work with that vision, that individual again.
And you gotta deal with them.
I heard what you said. I heard what you said about my scene, and I'm gonna meet you in the parking lot. That's the extreme, but I'm,
right.
We're human beings, so and things can happen. Yeah,
people get really real on production sets. Folks think it's all fun and games. No, it could be really real.
It's work. It's work. It's like it's interesting. It's like there's sometimes there are folks who see it and it's like, I could do that. I say I could do that. I could do it. It's like, okay. All right, go ahead, give it a shot, because and I say that, and it's not coming from an arrogant place. It's coming from a knowing place, which is what you see is the finished product. You don't know all the ingredients that are in the cake when you're eating it.
Yes,
unless you make the cake, you don't know exactly what's in. You might have, there's some eggs in there, but you don't know how many eggs, you don't know how much sugar, you don't know how much flour, you don't know how much has gone into that.
Right.
And there might be things that are supposed to be in it, and quite possibly things that ain't supposed to be in there.
Exactly.
So, and until you make the cake yourself, you don't really know what it entails.
Exactly. Well, I have a question for you. Let's move on to talk about now. Stargirl came back on last night, so I want to know about that project. I know you can't tell us how the rundown is for the season or anything like that, but we're going to see some real fun things, some different things this season.
Ooh, this season, let me tell you, season 1 was great. Season 1 was fantastic. And Jeff Johnson, showrunner over there, is like quite possibly one of the best human beings / showrunners I've ever had the opportunity to work with. He's very hands-on in terms of process and crafting the story and telling the story. What I can say about season 2 is that it gets realer, it gets deeper, it gets darker, it gets intense.
Okay.
A lot of things get revealed,
Okay.
um, and a lot of doors open and a lot of doors close.
Okay.
And
We're gonna
so
just have to stay tuned for that,
you gotta
huh?
say, yeah. And you also you find out in season 2, you also find out a lot more about Beth and her
Okay.
stuff and
Uh-huh.
her parents, us as her parents as well. So you get a little more light on that and quite a few other things. It's really, I'm excited to hear what people think about season 2. It's
Okay.
it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome.
How did that role come to you? You mind telling us just how you got the whole thing with Stargirl, and what did it feel like when you found out that you were going to be walking into that series?
Um, it's the- uh, well, when I found out, I was here in LA. I was happy. I was like, okay, because I'm a comic book kid, so
Right.
I know about Stargirl. I know about the Justice Society, the Injustice Society. I'm pretty familiar with it, and I know who Jeff is. Also, he was also a comic book writer as well for
Okay.
DC. And I was excited coming in, and I was just like, okay, but I need to go in here. I got a job I got to do. But what was wonderful about it, my first day, was that people knew who I was walking in, and they were like, Mr. Brown's great for me. Glad you're here. And I was like, wow, thank you. I was like, I'm never, I was like, shoot, okay. And I had to make sure like they were talking to me. I was like, oh, okay, great, wonderful. I'm
Right.
happy to be here. And
Oh,
season 1 was there was so much writing on season 1. There were a lot of things that Jeff wanted to do and do with the family in particular, but it was such a big thing and so many heroes and so many villains. It wasn't going to happen because of
right.
just so much.
Mm-hmm.
But we got a little shine in season 1. But walking into that, I was just it was just a pleasure being there. One, and two, it was I was just like, okay, I want to walk into this opportunity with just open to embrace the situation. And so it was exciting. I didn't know what was going to happen, what wasn't going to happen. I had no clue at all. And one of the questions I got, there's a Stargirl chat group that goes on the guy who runs it. He's always like, so did you make the so did you guys survive season 1? Did you guys survive season? I was like, you gotta watch the show. I don't even know. I don't even watch the show. You gotta
Yeah,
watch
I was going to ask about that. There's some things that you don't know
it. Mhm.
as things are going. You have to kind of like wait yourself to see
Yeah,
what the ending is like. That's pretty cool there.
yeah.
Okay,
Because there are a lot of a lot of spoilers out there, and some
right.
people, and you can get sued for revealing, and it's
Okay, okay,
contractually you cannot reveal the trade secrets. You can't reveal what's in the cake until after the cake is made. And you can
okay.
put things.
Okay. But you know what? While we're at it, Mitchell, I want to talk about your other project that you have going on right this moment,
Yes,
which is being in the movie Respect,
yes,
starring Jennifer Hudson. It's the story of Aretha Franklin. So
yes,
and you're playing MLK in
yes.
that particular production. So tell us a little bit about that. And of course, you said that you played MLK roles before. So what was it like to now get this particular one?
This was wow. This well, first I'll say the audition happened actually on my birthday, which
Wow.
was I was like, it's like it's your birthday. I was like, I'm going to do this audition. Um,
Hmm.
and then and I was nervous in that because I knew what if this was going to be, or
Hmm.
what it could be. And so I was
Right.
nervous in an audition, which
Okay.
it happens.
Uh-huh.
And it was on tape initially, and I
Okay.
sent it in, And then and then I didn't hear anything. And then I got a call about like a week or two later. Okay, they want to see you in LA because Telsey Casting is in New York. And
Okay.
I didn't know they had an office in LA. I was like, what? I was like, yeah, they got an office in LA. I was like, okay, well, I will, whatever I got going on, this is what's happening on that day. So did all my work, came in, auditioned, and I walked out, and I was just like, you know what? It's out of my hands now. It's above me right now. Thank you for this opportunity. It's a blessing.
Wow.
Walk out. And then I remember, let's say like maybe a few days later, maybe within a week, I got a phone call, and my manager was like, okay, so you are on the top of the list right now as far as so, you know,
Wow.
they're gonna let me know today. And I was just like, okay, I can't build my life on the list. I gotta keep moving. So I was I actually, and I don't do this, and I don't recommend anyone do this. I jumped into the shower, I was getting my day going, and then my phone rang while I was in the shower, and I saw that it was my manager, and I was like, okay, I don't do this, but I'm gonna have to answer this phone. So you will never I will never ever answer the phone in the shower. I heard that never happens, but I did this time. I'm glad I did. And they said,
Okay.
congratulations, Dr. King. And I dropped to my knees, said thank you, said a quick prayer, and then my manager was like, "You still there? You still there?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here." And he's like, "This is huge." I was like, "Yeah, it is. This is, getting an opportunity to," because someone said to me, I'm a couple of years ago when I was doing the tour, he's like, "More people need to see you do King, because they've seen, and I'm not. I can only go off of what how people respond to it. So I am my own worst critic. So I don't ask me how I did. I can tell you how I felt, but don't ask me how I did.
Okay.
And said it's one, and there's like more people need to see you do this because there's something that you bring to it, and there's something that and honesty is something that's there that that I don't get a chance to see when people play King, and it's not just a caricature. It's like I forget it's you as an actor. It's King. I'm watching Dr. King, and that was the biggest compliment anyone could pay me. Beyond that, my dad saw me do it once, and he was like, the first couple minutes of the show, I just saw my son, and he said, well, then like after the first 5 minutes went by, I forgot that you were that it was you. He said, I don't think you look like him at all. That's what my father said. I don't think you look like him at all. But something happens and you transform, and I see him, I hear him, and he's there. And I'm hoping that's what I hope that's what would happen in the film. Again, I'm my own worst critic.
Right.
I did see the film. I'm not going to say anything. I'm hoping that I did get some responses from folks, but go see it. You can tell me you did your thing or you ain't doing thing. But that's how backing up. That's how I found out.
Okay.
And because of everything that was happening, it kept getting pushed and shifted. Then there's a possibility of the shutdown of the process because they had already started shooting, and it got pushed. And then literally we wrapped shooting February 2020.
Okay.
Right before everything shut down. And then it was supposed to come out, ironically enough, on my birthday last year. Ironically. And then it got pushed to this year, and it was supposed to hit the theaters on King's birthday.
Right.
And then I was like, and then it got pushed again. I was like, okay, I don't know when it's coming out. Then they said August. I was like, okay, August. All right. I can't wait to see it.
Well, I hope you don't mind this. I wanted to show the collage that you had on your IG, and I put that out there today. You had two quick collages, and I wanted to see if I can get it to air here and just to show it real quickly. it sometimes with that background. Let me see if I can move my background because my background gets in the way. It doesn't move. It doesn't move properly. But I just wanted you all to kind of see this collage that is here. And then for those of you all who love the Stargirl, I know Tiana said that she watches the show. I just wanted to show this also. This is the poster that you had up yesterday. I just wanted to share those things for the audience.
No,
you know, it's because not just me, Tanya. Okay, but you see how I self-centered did that.
It's all right.
But you know, because you've done a wealth of work, and I just wanted to show that so that the audience out there can make sure people are visual. They hear and they speed through a lot, and so for people who are speeding with the sound down, I want them to say, "Oh," and then grab on.
Right.
So.
Right.
You know, I want to ask you another question. Then I think, let me ask Bola's question first, and then ask you another last question, and then I'm going to turn you loose because I got you hemmed up here for a while. But
I'm enjoying myself. This is great.
Okay, good, great. Now I think let's see. Bola was saying movies, TV series, or soaps. Which one do you prefer, or do you prepare for them differently?
Which do I prefer? I enjoy the movie making process.
Okay.
That being said, what I enjoy about television and soaps is you get a chance over a period of time to build on the person that you're playing, to build that world a little bit more and make that person a little more three-dimensional. Film, it's standalone, and you kind of have to. There's a lot. Is it work differently? The preparation different? For me, not really, because I use a similar preparation for stage as well. But it all starts with finding out the humanity, finding who that person is, seeing them, not judging their choices, but seeing them, who they are, understanding who they are, and then from there building.
Okay.
And each role that I take on, it tells me how I need to approach it. In that there might be a role where that might require me working from the outside in, meaning that I have, I'm being very physical, I'm being very tactile, I'm doing things that are outside of me to get into that character, or I'm wearing things that they will wear, or just putting myself in environments with it, or from the inside where it's like I'm doing all this internal work. Whether it's writing, doing a autobiography of the person, or just putting myself in the mindset and circumstances of the person. Just it tells me where I need to go at any given point in time. And there's some roles where it's like, do absolutely nothing, just do you, and figure this out as you play.
Well, I have the question when I know that you can alter your inside. Would you ever alter your outside? Like, would you ever gain a lot of weight, lose a lot of weight, or look a certain way, like really frail or anything sick or anything for wrong?
I've actually done that, and sometimes what happens is, sometimes what happens is when I get to a place where I'm working on a particular, I don't like using the term character, but working on a particular role, and again, it tells me where I need to go. Once I lock in, something physical starts happening to me, whether it's my diet changes, or whether it is my hair grow, I let my hair grow, or I grow a beard, or whatever it might be. For example, for King, what I normally weigh about like 195, right? 190, 195. I didn't, by the time when we hit the road with Mountaintop, I had gotten up to about 210 pounds.
Wow. Okay.
And I whenever I look at the picture, I'm like, oh man, okay. I and then when we were done, I was like, I felt my feet were hurting, my back. I was like,
Right.
everything that he was going through physically, I could feel. And even though
That you
he
were going
wasn't
through.
like, yeah, I could feel it. I was like, okay, because I'm taller than King was. Um,
Okay.
but the thing is like folks think that he was super tall. He was really tall, but it wasn't his physical stature. It was his energy that was so big. And
Okay.
someone said that to me one day in the tour. They were like, and we came off the stage and we were meeting and greeting with folks, and he was like, "Man, I thought you were at least 6'2" up there on the stage." I was like, "No, sir, I'm not 6'2. I am 5'10, 5'9.5" on some days, but 5'10 usually." And
Okay.
he's like, "Yes, that was your energy." And I was like, "Oh, I mean,
All right. Well, I have really two more questions for
sure, sure,
just
sure,
you. I
yes,
want to know, first of all, with everything that you have done, as far as the public out there, people watching, we have a lot of people that watch and the afterwards, we get a lot of folks that come through and catch the show.
yeah."
And a lot of folks are aspiring to be actors, actresses, or even in music, all kinds of things. And I like to ask these questions a lot for folks with this being art imitates life. Um, what advice do you give to people who are trying to find their way, and especially those who can't seem to find the door that
Mm.
they can even twist on a knob or even knock to try and get in?
What I would say is sometimes it's a couple of things. One is sometimes if you can't find the door,
Mhm.
make it.
Make a door.
Make a door. If
Like
there's
it.
no window, make it.
Right.
Because
Okay.
guess what? There are everything that you're seeing, somebody had a vision and worked on it, prayed on it, and put it out there.
Okay.
And it may and it's if we're looking at it, we see the final result, and it's like we think that, oh, this happened overnight. It's like, no, that what you just
Mhm.
saw took 10 years to get there. That
Right.
what you saw took 15 years. Sometimes it takes 5, sometimes it takes 2, sometimes it takes 1.
Okay.
But the fact of the matter is time is involved.
Okay.
So be patient, be hungry, but be patient. Have
Okay.
a circle, whether it's family, friends, loved ones. Have that. That's
The
necessary.
circle.
You got to have a foundation. Your
Okay.
spirituality is important. You got to have that.
Okay.
You talk to God. You talk, you know, whoever you might speak to.
Hmm.
You need that.
Okay.
Very important. Um, keep going,
Okay.
because one of the things that I was taught by Harry Poe said this: keep going, because that one time that you decide to stop, that next door was your way. That next door was your way. And the
Gotcha.
thing about it is, like, we're in a business where you're going to hear no a lot more times than you're going to hear yes. That's just the
Right.
nature of the numbers. That's just the nature of the whole situation. And so it's like not taking that personally. It doesn't mean that you're not talented. It doesn't mean you don't have what it takes. It just means that for whatever reason, this is not the time for this right now.
Okay.
So you
All
got to
right.
keep pushing. You got to keep going, because like a lot of for me, I mean, I've been doing this for a little while, and I don't think about it,
Mhm.
about the time in that way.
Right.
And I'll hear from people who've known me for a long time, and they're like, you've been working at this for a while. I'm so glad to see that I look up and I see you on this, and I was like, and I don't think about it until they point it out. I'm like, oh, that's true. That they're right. They're right. Okay. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Right.
So keep going, and
That's important.
don't be afraid of no. And sometimes don't take no for an answer, within reason. Meaning that when I say don't take no for an answer, I
Uh,
mean that your voice, your instrument, what you bring to the table is not worthy of being at the table.
right. I got you. Definitely. Okay. Art imitates life is the name of the show. What does that mean to you?
Art imitates life. Well, what it means to me is that there is really, I know that's the title of the show, but I'm gonna switch it up just a little bit.
Okay.
I won't say art imitates life. I think art is life.
Okay.
Um, I believe that it's so interwoven and interconnected, because when you create something, if we look at a painting and we look at this painting on the wall and we see these colors, we see these strokes, we see the artist has put their blood, sweat, and tears into this creation.
Right.
Their life is right there on the canvas. You look at something on TV or on the movie screen, that person's life is right up there, and it has the ability to um, to spark imagination, to spark to spark conversation, to ignite a movement, to uplift, to do just about anything. It has this amazing ability to do that. It's an amazing and wonderful responsibility we as artists have, and I mean, I don't take it lightly. um it can be daunting, but it's like, hey, we are worthy of that weight,
That's
because
right.
we do have a responsibility, and
Right.
we're sharing our life through our art, and
Mhm.
that's what it means to me.
There you go. Love that. Love that. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I got my final question for you, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna do it after the break. We're gonna do social media first,
Okay.
and we'll come back and we'll end the show together. All right.
All right.
All right. So y'all hang on.
We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Art Imitates Live with Tanya Dixon, so be sure to like and subscribe. And also check us out on all of our other social media.
Welcome back. Now, Gilbert,
Yes.
I want to see if there's any social media that you want to drop out there for the public so that they can follow and see what kind of work you're up to right now. So you can go ahead and feel free. And now, of course, I'll put it in the description as well.
Oh, absolutely. It's really easy to find me. It's Gilbert Glenn Brown, Glenn with two N's, on Facebook. If anybody's still out there using that, on Instagram, and on Twitter, it's G Glenn Brown. And my website is Gilbert Glenn Brown. But if you punch my name into your browser, it'll pop up where I am.
Okay, cool. Because I'm gonna make sure I put it in the description because I always like people to go ahead and keep following and seeing what you're doing and
Oh,
supporting.
please, yes,
Yeah,
absolutely,
definitely.
absolutely. And I so appreciate this. Thank you for having me on,
Oh, no
and thank you all
problem.
the yeah.
No problem at all. I love that. Because I want to know what is next. Where do you want to go big picture wise? Now, we know we keep seeing you doing different things. We know you're going to get the roles and all kinds of stuff. Where do you want to see yourself in a picturing right now? What's the picture right now where you want to see yourself?
Right now, also within, I'm glad you phrased it that way, because life is
Changes.
changes, but in the long run, I see myself working more, the quality and the tier of work that I do continues to rise.
Okay.
Series regular, um,
Okay.
leading films, but also what I want to do is I'm still community minded, in community minded, which is I want to build things too. I want to
Oh,
create. I want to create a production company that helps other people get their visions out into the world. I want to,
right.
to continue to do outreach to young people and let them know that there are possibilities out there. It's not what they say. It's not what this person says or what that person says or what government says or whatever. You can
Right.
create. You can create this. You can do this.
Okay. Because to this day, you're still involved with the positive
Mind
youth.
build. Yes, yes, yeah. I'm
Okay. Mind
still
builders. Okay.
yes, I'm still
Okay.
definitely heavily involved with them. It's coincidentally, if anyone who was this is because we're looking for folks right now. Anyone
Okay.
who was involved with the Mind Positive Youth Troop at any point in time, we're doing a reunion, and so I'm actually helping them coordinate that. So it's going to be in, next year in Memorial Day 2022. But right now we're just trying to we lost track with quite a few people. There's still some folks that I'm very much in contact with, which was a wonderful thing about it. That still I can pick up the phone and call certain folks, but there's still some folks that we just don't know where they are in the world. And so hopefully if they hear this, if they see this, I'm hoping that they will, go to the Mind Builders website and reach out. And also, or just hit me up on social media that you're going to give them too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you being here, and I appreciate
Yeah.
all the information that you have given, and just a really full interview of all the things that you have done and how you have felt. A lot of people, they might talk about the role that they've done, but you've been able to take us on a walk inside of some of these projects and what it was like and what it felt like and how it transformed you. And I really appreciate the time that you have taken, not only to be here for the interview, but to give us the snapshot inside of what happens with Gilbert Glenn Brown as an actor, as a director, and so forth and so, because you got a lot of things. So I really appreciate it so much. Okay.
And thank you so much for having me. And Layala, I just want to give her love and shout out as well. Thank you so much.
La, big up to La. So, but of course, to you out there, you all out there, get those words right. Here on the YouTube and all that have been here with us all night. Thank you so much for all the questions and hanging out.
Yeah,
and how we do this, and if you want to get in touch, of course, my information, Tandyland, TANDILAND.com. That's the website. And of course, info@Tandyland. You can send a message there if you want to be on the show, you have any questions, what have you. And it's all going to be in the description of the show as well. Okay, so thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Gilbert Glenn Brown, for bringing your illustrious career here tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for
And of
having me.
course, you are welcome back anytime.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to take you up on that.
Certainly. We want to keep up with you and all the wonderful things that you keep doing. Okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome. Okay, for all of y'all out there, be sure to tune in Friday night. We got a living room coming. The topic is going to be a little hardcore. I think we're going to talk to the men. The men are going to talk about why men are not having as much sex anymore. Let's see how that turns out, all right? Yeah, let's see how that turns out.
I might have to tune in and see what's going on.
Last time, I think the women were more on the hot seat. This time it's the men. So thank you all for being here. I'm Tanya Dixon. This is the wonderful actor, director, producer, and director of photography, Gilbert Glenn Brown. Again, thanks for being here. You all have a beautiful week out there. And we'll see you next time on Art Imitates Live. See y'all now.